Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the forum in the great city of Copenhagen. It's the final of the Mr. Vegas Nordic Darts Masters, brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands joining us live and the millions joining us around the world, it's time to meet the finalists. Would you please welcome back the winner of 21 PDC titles, a two-time European champion, the winner of 5 World Series titles. Ladies and gentlemen, into the Nordic Dart Masters final for the second time. Would you please welcome the winner of the World Match Play and the former champion of the world, Bunting, Rob Ladies and gentlemen, looking for his second World Series title, a two-time World Championship semi-finalist, a winner of the Bahrain Darts Masters, an International Darts Open, the winner of the Masters, the former Lakeside champion that is, the Bullet, Stephen
darting deja vu to end the Nordic Darts Masters here. The final see Stephen Bunting take on Rob Cross. These two met in the last World Series of Darts event back in January when they clashed in the final in Den Bosch. It was a win for Rob Cross, who has got a dominant head-to-head record against the Bullet. Capacity crowd roaring on Stephen Bunting here, who is in his third successive World Series of Darts final. He's the 5th player to achieve that. The PDC number 4 ranked player in the world wins over Lacasiak, Clayton and Aspinall see him through to a 3rd successive final. Standing in his way, Rob Cross Voltage, who was pretty impressive as he beat the defending champion Gerwyn Price in the semi-final. Also saw Chris Dobier on tonight and Andreas Harrison yesterday. May have been his toughest opponent so far. So Cross dominant when it comes to this particular matchup. He's won his last 9 in a row. 15 wins out of their 19 clashes. This is not a matchup that favours Bunting, but the World Series of Darts has been kind to Bunting. Just his 11th appearance, he's made 4 finals. Dan Dawson, is he going to get a 2nd win of the year, or will Rob Cross go back-to-back again?
Difficult one to call, isn't it?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, it's Rob.
Very little between him in the
Game on.
statistics. Stephen Bunting's dragged down a little bit lower because it took him 11 darts to hit the winning double in the semi-final against Nathan Aspinall. As you can see, it's not a chasm, and if he had got the job done a little bit quicker against the Asp, it might be bang on neck and neck. However, the 180s, that is where you could make some hay. And he's in there in the very first leg.
He is. What a way to start. Bunting, who won in Bahrain, couldn't quite follow it up when he was beaten 8-5 in Den Bosch by Rob Cross. Cross appearing in his 2nd successive Nordic Darts Masters final. He was the runner-up last year to Gerwyn Price.
60.
So the 2 players that struggled in the Premier League, they're making hay on the World Series.
Well, the 2 worst performing players in the Premier League finished bottom and 2nd bottom, and yet they are contesting the finals of the 2 World Series that bookend that particular tournament. And you could have been forgiven for thinking that Rob Cross, it might not be a great year on the World Series when he lost to Paolo Nebreda in his first game in Bahrain. He has not lost since.
Feast or famine. He's feasting on the treble 20 bed. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come.
161.
Can't get the 161 started.
61.
Does leave himself a 2-darter, but the perfect setup from Rob Cross gives himself a chance. Holding a throw in the opening leg. He's going to go to that double 18.
Game still on the first
Straight
leg.
in, no
Rob
problem.
Cross. 2nd leg is Stevens to throw first. Game on.
Very impressive start to the final.
100.
Cross, of course, has won back-to-back World Series events before. It was in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, his record on this circuit of events is pretty astonishing.
86.
5 titles in total. This, his 11th final. Now, it's only his 27th event. That sort of strike rate of reaching the final is only bettered by Van Gerwen, Taylor and Lippman.
140.
Good looking first dart. Should have been followed.
100.
Disappointing visit for Rob Cross in the end.
Yeah, if we'd have done our own version of what happened next after that first start, we would have expected at least one more in the red bit, but it wasn't to be.
It's perhaps the one thing that's been lacking from his performances this weekend. He's still going along at a 96 tournament average, and yet his first 2 games he didn't hit single maximum. Hit 4 against Gerwyn Price. So a bit more like the Rob Cross
100.
we know. But it's not as if he hasn't scored well. It's just been a lot of those 2 treble visits. Constantly chipping away.
I think when Rob Cross is hitting either treble 18 or treble 19 regular, you know he's in good nick. Good visit here.
55. Seeming required 96.
Bunting to level up the final.
56.
Went double-double, couldn't complete it.
60.
He's likely to come back, but Rob Cross has a rather penchant for big combination finishes this weekend. Not going to add to it here.
I'll be disappointed. Just the wrong side of the wire. Crowd all of a sudden have burst into life here at the Forum in Copenhagen. As Bunting duly levels up at one apiece.
Third leg, it's Rob to throw first. Game on.
Top two seeds doing battle here, of course. The seeding worked out on the performances on the World Series this year. So whatever happens, they're still going to be the top two seeds going into the next one in New York. Just further bolstering their position at the top of the rankings.
Good early signs from this pair. It is a remarkable head-to-head record, isn't it? Can Bunting? Oh, perfect. Hit 6 perfect darts earlier on.
Yeah, you are right. With the number of games that these two have played, and a significant chunk of them in the last 2 years, where Stephen Bunting has ascended to a new tier of darts player, if you like. He's become one of the world's best after being a very good dart player for a long while. Winning the Masters, winning on the Euro Tour, obviously getting in the Premier League, winning in Bahrain. But Rob Cross just keeps on beating him, 9 in a row. Level 18. Oh, this is proper Rob Cross business.
Fourth leg, it's Stevens to throw first. Game on.
So leg Bunting started with 4 perfect darts. Rob Cross closes it out 96. With a 12 darter on throw. He is forcing Bunting. 4 perfect darts is not enough. He needed all 9 to win that leg.
Yeah. 5th ton plus checkout of this tournament for Cross. Bunting got off to a brilliant start against Nathan Aspinall, then having missed 3 match starts to win 7-1, proceeded to wobble as Asp threw everything at him, and in the end it took him 8 darts, didn't it, to win that 12th leg and wrap up the spot in the final.
134.
Bunting now vulnerable.
57.
Rob Cross is at him at the start of this fight.
Couldn't find the big treble, but does leave the big fish. Bunting has got to hit 2 big trebles of his own here, and that looks pretty tempting.
140. Robbie require 170. 60. Stephen, you require 108.
He might just be digging himself out of trouble in this leg, Stephen Bunting. Rob Cross is going to get a look 60. At this, and these sorts of finishes he's been very good at. 5 ton plus finishes so far this weekend, already had 1 just in the last leg.
Now then, he doesn't want to stay there, but that first dart was so tempting. He felt he had no choice, and to add to his annoyance, he hits the treble 18 that would have been his other target.
Tops for 2-2.
Game shown the 4th leg.
Bunting looking assured on that target.
5th leg, it's Rob to throw first. Game on. $134.
Pretty ruthless so far when they get the opportunity.
100.
We saw in the semi-final Rob Cross make a decisive move just before the break. Can he do the same here?
100. $91. $59.
Opportunity here. 140 leaves him on a finish.
$83.
That is a cruel deflection. It has been packed out all weekend here in Copenhagen.
38.
And they've been treated to some special stuff here tonight. Rob Cross leaves himself on the 170 for the second leg running, but he kind of has let this leg fall into dangerous territory.
139. Rob, you require 170.
Yeah, Bunting is handy. Cross can't get the big fish.
100. Stephen, you
Knows that
require
might not be
88.
enough. This is a big moment in this final for Bunting. Great dart. Looking down the board. Double
74.
7. Couldn't take the opportunity.
Robbie requires 70.
That is his first chance to get the break that he is going to need if he's going to win this final. May not get another chance in this leg. Cross perfect on the double so far. Over the top of it.
Game
Right there.
on the fifth leg. Rob Cross. Sixth leg is Stephen to throw first. Game on.
That was an exquisite finish. After Bunting had the opportunity and didn't take it to break. Didn't have a lot to aim at here, but he hit what he had to hit.
You can see from the angle of that dart going in that he's moved a long way over to the left. It is not an
93.
easy shot. It is not a large target he's got to work with.
And all of a sudden now it's Bunting who just gets a little bit
96.
hot under the collar as we approach the interval. We saw a few times in the semi-final, Stephen, just trying to adjust his shirt a little bit. He's very warm, isn't it, in the Forum tonight?
100.
Well, if you can take the title in the desert of Bahrain, you would think he'd be able to do it here.
134.
It turns out 4,000 Danish darts fans do make it rather hot and steamy in here. Nice and high to avoid the flights. He's trying to find a path through. He is terrified of busting his score here. And ultimately, that is still better than catching the flight and going in the treble 20.
It is. Very much so it is. He's on a two-dart combo unless Cross would have taken out his highest finish of the tournament so far.
94.
Well, he's asked the question, can Bunting level us up? And take us into the break level at 3-3. Couldn't get the tops, but gets the tens, and we are all level in a race to 8. Play to a finish here at the Nordic Darts Masters. Bunting levels us up at 3-3.
The final of the Nordic Darts Masters, Voltage versus the Bullet, and neither man has blinked so far. 6 legs played, every single one of them a hold of throw, and chances to break at a premium. There's been just one. A missed start at double 7 by Stephen Bunting, the only chance he's had to get his nose in front in this one. It is a race to 8. The Bullet
Game on.
looking to bounced back from defeat in the final of the last World Series event to Cross in Den Bosch in the Netherlands. Rob Cross looking to go back to back for the second time in his career on the World Series. He play right the way through to its conclusion. If Cross continues to hold his throw, he will win this, but Bunting is going to come at it.
180!
Tight as a drum at the start of this final. I mentioned that one dart that the bullet had in leg 5, couldn't take advantage.
58.
This would be some way to break the throw, wouldn't it?
140.
Not quite, but more importantly for him in the context of this match, that puts him in prime position.
Started the leg similarly earlier on, didn't he? But it was a 12-darter from Rob Cross that shut the door. And that miss at the 25-ball ball means that he's not down to a finish. The 12-darter is no longer a possibility. This, guaranteed chance for Stephen Bunting. Set it up, whatever he leaves, he'll get a goer. And he's only left 41.
Nothing Cross can do here. Although that's not bad.
142.
Creative.
Stephen, you require 41.
What does it ultimately do?
One.
No.
Robbie
Another
required
chance
40.
slips by for Bunting.
Well, it was a very creative way to leave tops. Now then, a sarcastic nod.
35.
Big
Stephen
moments
required 40.
here in Copenhagen.
A golden setup shot, but the finishing 10 at the best. And Bunting works his way in and works his way into the lead in this one for the first time.
Eighth, gets Stephen to throw first. Game on.
Right, took him 5, but he got there in the end after Cross fluffed his lines. Halfway to the 8 required.
97.
Not the biggest celebration in the world from the bullet.
100.
I think he knows it's not decisive. Second max for Cross.
Bunting, with that break, has gone from being the hunter to being the hunted. And Cross is set off in pursuit pretty well.
93.
Really dragged that one.
59.
Overcompensates, and all of a sudden the advantage he's got, he's just handed it right back.
58.
Well, the big fish has been left with regularity.
He keeps leaving it across. Eventually he will hit it. But there's no need to.
Robbie require 170.
Not on this occasion.
He's got the opportunity. Ooh, now. That was a wild second dart. And that just alters his focus
81.
a little bit. After that first dart, that could and should have been significantly lower.
Got to stay straight. He's being forced to come down the board. He doesn't want to do this.
96.
Sort of made it
Robbie
work.
require 89.
It might be irrelevant anyway, but Cross, having just missed a trio of darts at double, he's only going to get a look at the bull. This for an instant break back and a level game.
64.
Well, he only missed one double in those opening 6 legs, Rob Cross. He's already missed 4 since he returned from the break. Oh, real chance for the Bullet. And a chance he takes. We've got daylight. 5-3 Bunting.
Game on.
Great tumplus out from the Bullet. Is he about
95.
to end across hoodoo?
Well, we've already seen here tonight in Copenhagen the iron grit that Luke Littler had on Nathan Aspinall brought to an end.
82.
The Asp taking him out of the tournament. Stephen Bunting might be about to shake free from the grasp that Rob Cross has had on him
93.
since he last beat him on a Euro Tour in Austria in 2022. It is just over 3 years since the Bullet beat Rob Cross.
97.
And during that time, he has been playing the best darts of his entire career.
Yeah, it is a remarkable statistic. And it's one that might be about to come to an end. But it is only one breaker throw. Not actually that bad a dart, is it? Actually, no, 2 score, but it leaves him on an even number.
Oh, this is good. This is world class. What a set-up shot from the Bullet.
Will we require 100?
Shot still on. Which way is he going to go? Treble 15? No. Treble 19. Doesn't find it.
40.
Well, Cross is just starting to blink, isn't he, at the
32.
most unfortunate moment, and Bunting, who's brilliant, set up the shot, takes the shot. 3 legs, 4 legs on the spin now for Bunting. Look at that. He's flying.
Well, he put himself in an even more commanding position in the semi-final against Nathan Aspinall, and it very, very nearly went to a deciding leg.
60.
But right now, Stephen Bunting is on top. Rob Cross has just wilted a little.
You're right, he has. This starts to win legs 7 and 8. And then, crucially, couldn't say straight in leg 9.
140.
He's on the back foot now, that is for sure. And if Bunting can hold here, then you feel the title is almost in his grasp.
140.
He is racing away. The maximum only brings Cross level, and he's not going to do that. He's not even going to leave a finish.
60. Stephen, you require 121.
Treble 13. Not found. But he's been
81.
very good on tops as a general rule this weekend, Stephen Bunting.
And he has. And again, Cross is just looking to hit and hope.
99. Stephen, you require
Bunting to
40.
move within 1. A barrage of brilliant darts. He's getting closer.
No score.
Well, that was Darius Labanauskas close, but not good enough.
Could it be a tide turner? It's not even close. He's had a few wild darts this weekend. Not many of them, but when they are wild, they are very, very wild.
Required 40.
And this could be about to get even harder for voltage. Because Tops is found this time, and Stephen Bunting is a leg away from his second World Series title of the year.
What a year it could be for Bunting. When you look at last year, serial runner-up, wasn't he? Lost in multiple finals in floor events. This year he opened up with that win in Bahrain. He's won for the first time on the European Tour, and he's poised to win again here.
Yeah, bottom of the pile in the Premier League on his return to that tournament after a decade away. Top of the pile on the World Series.
27.
One more leg will confirm his spot. He could be there. He could be there for the rest of the year.
Could be.
100.
Rob Cross will be thinking that (7-1) in front. Well, he had the opportunity to win the semi-final 7-1, didn't he, Bunting? He fluffed his lines. He might have to be patient here. He might have to wait for the chance, because Cross is looking to keep him honest in this final.
126.
It's another max for Bunting. 18 for the weekend, and it's set up a chance to win the match unless Cross can shut the door in this leg. Double 18. He does. He's still alive in this one.
Rob Cross. Top leg, it's Stevens to throw first. Game on.
Credit where credit is due. He needed to take it, and he did. Can Bunting get it done on his own throw? After a bit of an edgy first start, he follows it with two fantastic treble 19s.
He's had his warning already tonight, Stephen Bunting. He cannot take his foot off the gas. He cannot take it for granted that the match-winning leg is just going to come around the corner, because he was in a little bit of danger against Nathan Aspinall from letting an unlosable lead go.
100.
Cross, who we mentioned when he faced Chris Dobie earlier on, has provided many spectacular comeback in his career.
140.
If he gets himself out of this one, it might be the best of the lot.
Still played all right in this game, Rob Cross, but his chances have been limited. Bunting's had nearly twice the number of darts at double than his opponent in this one. And could he get one in his next visit?
Well, he's missed 5 darts at a double in the entire final, Dan, and he missed 4 of those in legs 7 and 8. And that really was the turning point of this game.
43. Stephen, you require 170.
Releases the pressure. Bunting has got 6 darts from here. It does not need to go. Not right now. But can he stop himself?
145.
He should get a round of applause for the sheer audacity that he went for it. Now he's just got to tidy it up. Rob Cross is in trouble now, but once again
83.
he tries to put the hammer down. Bunting to win it then, and win his second World Series of Darts event in 2025. He's looking at 2 8s. Brilliant Bunting. He ends the hoodoo that Rob Cross has had over him for the first time in 10. Bunting beats Cross. He gets revenge for Den Bosch in January, and he is 2 from 3 when it comes to World Series finals in 2025. Bunting is on the charge. Rob Cross is beaten. He doesn't go back-to-back in the World Series of Darts, but Bunting is on fire. The crowd full of adulation for the man from St Helens. It's his second win, a 3rd title of the year. And Bunting makes light work of voltage to wrap up an 8-4 win.